Welcome to Insights into Success. We're with your host Paul Dodds. We hope to educate, inspire and motivate you to achieve your own personal success. We talk to guests from all around the world from a variety of walks of life to hear the realities of their own journey to success. What challenges have they faced? How have they coped with failure? And what have been the keys or will be the keys to their own success? In our Read to Succeed interviews, we talk books that have inspired our guests, and for some, they share their secrets to marketing success. Join us as we give you insights into success. All right, well, welcome back to Insights into Success, where we're doing a special segment called Read to Succeed, and our guest in a recent episode, Jodi Scott from Greg Goo, has agreed to stay on. So welcome back, Jodi. Thank you so much. I know you're a very busy person, so I appreciate the time. And yeah, I just want to hand the floor over to you and get you to give us some insight into the types of books that have really inspired you over the years.
I love that you asked this question and that you spend time exploring books. I think that I'm in a lot of different clubs and I wish I could read more than I get to. But some favorites of mine, Man's Search for Meaning, I think was a critical book in my personal development and awareness of what a human is capable of. And looking at it from an incredibly challenging perspective where you are faced with some of the hardest, most difficult moments, and you recognize you can't change the situation, but you can change your perspective. And that purpose and that why, very similar to what I went through in terms of selling the company and buying it back and really knowing your why and being okay with you're free of judgment of why something is so difficult, and you're more curious of what you're going to learn from this moment. And it changes your biology, it changes your perspective, and it changes your ability to move through a moment in time that is really balancing and very interesting. And so this is a book that I will have my daughter read when she's ready, because I think it's just a cornerstone to really appreciating the wisdom that you can have in life when you can't control everything around you in this environment where you think you should be able to.
Yeah, I mean, Viktor Frankl's book, it's not a big book, so it doesn't take too long to read, but my goodness, it's a very well-quoted book. Extreme circumstances that he went through, and that perspective was there for everyone to see, you know, those that survived versus those that didn't, and all came back to mindset, having a purpose to your day. Incredible story.
Incredible story. And so that for me is the one I like to always encourage. If you haven't read it, definitely do. And then I'm going to take a complete different turn here, and also a classic. But this one is Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. And why I'm sharing it today is I feel like it is the exact opposite in a positive way, though, of Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. And this one's more the external experience of ambition and drive and mastery from an external success, where, you know, Man's Search for Meaning, I look at that as like mastery, the inner mastery of the self. And as an entrepreneur, this is back to, you know, we as innovators and builders, it's a difficult journey, right? You feel alone. Absolutely. You have a lot of pressure. You think differently. You're disruptive, and the outside wants to challenge it. They want to poke holes in it. They want to tell you why you can't do that. And it mirrors it in the sense of Viktor, in the sense of it's very purpose driven. It is protecting the integrity of your mission and your vision from an output standpoint. And so I think both of those are kind of fun to read
Yeah.
near each other
Uh,
for
yeah.
different reasons.
Right. And tell me, what's your reading style? Like, how do you prefer to read? And do you listen to audiobooks? Like, what's your preference for medium?
Today I'm reading or listening to a lot more audiobooks. I still buy books, and if you can see them behind me, I love books. I love
Yeah.
old books, new books, I love to touch and feel books. I don't read them
Yeah.
as fast as I would like. And I'm
Yeah.
not kidding. I have a little area where I've been journaling for my daughter since I was pregnant with her, and I have must read books. So, whatever book that I want her to read, I go ahead and make sure I have a printed copy of it, and I write inside the book, why I'm recommending this book for her.
Wow, that's
And
very cool.
and just kind of build that little library over time,
Yeah.
and she's not old enough to appreciate it and hasn't tapped into it yet. Um,
Yeah.
but I find that may be fun for her. And I always tell people that when I retire, I'm going to be able to read all the books that I couldn't read. But I
Yeah.
find audiobooks for me, I think movement is really important. And as an entrepreneur, and today we sit at a computer a lot. And so I really encourage this with my team is, do a walk and talk when you can,
Yeah.
so that you're not sitting in front of the computer. Go listen to a book when you can. And also just go take a walk and listen to the birds. Back to that again
Yeah,
when you can.
absolutely. And what's your tricks to retention? So retaining what you read, what do you do to help retain that, or do you just have an amazing memory and you don't really have to do much?
Depends on the day, right? Depends how distracted you really are. I mean, if I find that I'm reading something that is meatier that I want to make sure that I come back to, I bookmark that and I come back to it. Now,
Right.
if I'm really intentional about absorbing content from a book, and this was a
Yeah.
recommendation someone gave me, listen to the audiobook and read it at the same time.
Ah,
Um,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah, and that's helpful when I'm getting something that's really dense or something that I appreciate that I want to make sure that I'm digesting all of it. But I think it's interesting as we've been doing audio for so long, I feel like I've optimized that as an intake from a memory standpoint much better than I did 5, 6 years ago.
Right. And do you think that if you read a book on its own in isolation versus listening to an audio, is there a discernible difference you think in your retention? Like, do you retain one over the other better?
I think for me personally, be interesting to
Mm,
look into the science of if there is actually better retention one way or another.
yeah.
Um, for me, I don't see the difference. It's me more
Right.
of a personal experience, what I want to achieve in that moment. Is it that I want to go for a walk and talk, or excuse me, a walk and listen, or
Yeah.
or am I in the car? Or do I just really want to sit and have a quiet, intentional moment? And then I absolutely take advantage of being able to read a book in that moment if
Yeah.
I can be still or at a coffee shop or what have you. But it only takes 10 pages. It's just like meditation. I find you don't have to sit for 2 hours and meditate for two
Yeah.
hours to get what you need from it. You can just read for 10 minutes and get some small bites. And if it takes you
Yeah.
a little longer to get through a book, that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. All right, Jodi. Well, I'm conscious of time, and I'm also appreciative of your contribution today. So thank you so much for taking the time to share with us. It's been really, really good. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. I've so enjoyed being here with you. Appreciate.